Hello, this is my computing NEA. So the assets of the game, so the images, are all stored in these folders here. Then the texture packs are stored here. So the main file to open the game is main, which goes into Start GUI, and that then launches Draw Map, which uses chunk builder, car and asset. So this is the main menu of the game. It's quite simple, so you've got texture pack selection screen here, quit and start. So we'll start the game and have a look. The controls are quite simple, you just use the arrow keys to move. And then the first test we'll be doing is the car collision. So I've got a function on this NPC car, or I can hold the spacebar and it starts spinning around. Put that in for testing, to test its movement, and then because of that I can test its collision. So we'll start with the NPC car colliding with the player's car. So it's not 100% accurate, but the more accurate it would be, the more demanding the program would end up being. And it's mostly built to be efficient. So I'd say it's accurate enough. And then, of course, the player's car also collides with the NPC cars, as you can see there. So it brings it to a complete stop. So the next test will be driving for 10 minutes to the top right to see, to basically show that the map is generated basically infinitely. So I'm now running the game on my laptop to show the frame rate, which is in the top left. Now, in the objectives, it would ideally be at 60, and it usually is. However, I am recording this, which puts strain on the hardware. So, of course, you can see it often dip to about 45 at the lowest, about. But if I wasn't recording this as well, it would stay more at 60. But there is an option in the code to lock the frame rate at 30. So it would probably be quite a bit smoother if you had other processors running in the background. So now we're going to test the texture packs. So I've got a few loaded in already. So we have realistic grass, which changes the look of the grass. I've got a few test ones. So this pack doesn't contain anything. This pack contains images that aren't used. This pack, some of the buildings, they've been sized to 150 by 150 instead of the default 50 by 50, and these ones have been, some of the buildings have been sized down to 25 by 25 instead of 50 by 50. So we'll start with the realistic grass one to just show what the texture packs do. So I'll turn it on using this button. Then when we start, it changes the grass texture from the original. So I can show what's in the folder. So in this directory you've got the grass, and that is different, and the rows are still the same, but of course they don't really change much because they're just the same image. So next we'll test the next pack, which is empty. So it also, in the console it says if it's using custom assets and which pack it's using. So this is empty, so no change at all because none of the things get overwritten, which shows that you don't need all the assets, you just need the ones that you change. And I think that's good for keeping folder sizes low. So the next pack we'll choose. It also does save which pack you've got and which one between sessions, which is good. Extra, so this has this is like realistic grass, and I've got to mention before the realistic grass one has some older textures for the buildings and roads. So this one contains extra files, which of course don't have any effect because they're not loaded. So I've just got copies of the buildings and they do absolutely nothing. So the next testable pack, well, the next pack we'll test is large. So this one has the image sizes larger than they usually are. So I think it's these buildings here. They're forced to resize to the desired image size, and so I upscaled these using nearest neighbour, so they get resized using that as well. So there's basically no change overall, but I can prove that they are bigger. So as you can see here, details it's 150 by 150, and then the default ones are 50 by 50. And then we should see the same thing with test small. Of course, since it's downscaled then upscaled again, it doesn't have the same amount of detail, but it still forces it to be the right size.